You'll notice now I'm using one of the 202 left or right bevelers. These have diagonal lines on them, and if you'll study your photocarve pattern, you'll see which direction they go. Now, with this tool, I'm just using it to form the quill on each feather, as you can see. No cut here, we're just very carefully beveling a line along the top of each feather. We will only be doing this to these larger feathers on both wings. And I am now beveling in the cut. And I am beveling deeper than we did earlier, because now I'm not outlining the quill, I am actually separating the feathers. As these feathers get smaller, I will bevel much more lightly, because we do not want to mash down the feathers, just separate them. I am now beveling the wings on the other side of the duck, and you'll notice that my lines are radiating out. I am using the beveler with the diagonal lines on it. In order to separate these rows of feathers, I'm going to use a figure carving matting tool number F898, and I will use this lightly and just sort of mat down the area below these feathers. And I think you can see how now they are separated where here they are not. So I'll just very lightly now texture that area underneath these feathers, and this will separate the rows. I'll do it also up here with these other rows. We will do this on the other wing as well. To do the eye, we use the number 632 cedar, and I will just very carefully place it and tap it not real hard, because we do not want it to go all the way through. Then we can take our stylus end of our modeler and just carefully press a pupil in there. To do these short little flat feathers on the wings, I'm just using a number U855 mule's foot, and not striking very hard at all, just lightly. We will also do this on the top of the other wing. It is now time to do some work with the modeling tools. You'll notice here I'm using the modeling tool to form the head, and also underneath the eye. Separate the beak from the head. And now down here there's a ring on the neck, so I'll use the modeling tool, and by rubbing with it you can see I'm creating some color here to get the neck ring to stand out. Not pressing hard, just rubbing. We'll also use the modeling tool to round off the edges of the head especially. And also to help form the end of the beak. And the edge of the body. And we'll also use the modeler to form some of the detail on the feet. And we can also round off the legs and the feet. I am going to use the hair blade to put texture on the feathers, and we'll do that just by pulling it, as you can see, and create the texture on each of the feathers. Note the angle comes from the feather out towards the edge and toward the tip. Now we can go back to the modeling tool and slightly lift these feathers. Remember, when we did our swivel knife cutting, we undercut a little bit. This now gives us the opportunity to lift each feather, as you can see. Now I'm also using the hair blade. I'm doing long straight or fairly straight lines to simulate the fine flat feathers on the underside of our duck. I have gone back to my swivel knife, and I'm lightly putting a cut in the center of these tail feathers to simulate a quill in each one. I'm now going to use the larger of the matting tools, of the figure carving matting tools. This is number F900, and I will use it to texture around the outside. This will cause our duck to stand out further from the background, and I'll strike pretty hard when I'm up close, as you can see me doing here, and then I will slowly taper it off to the outside. And finally, all these little pointed areas in here, we'll use the standard A104 background tool, and we will mat down the inside of those points and then blend it out to the matting tool. And here we have our mallard duck, all ready to color and finish.